It is now 2020 and I thought it was about time to kind of do a little catch up, so I wanted to do a Q&A, and then it was taking me so long to do this Q&A, so I thought we'd just get started. Me and Ben are currently on a day out just kind of walking around Hyde Park, so I thought as I go along I'll just answer some of your questions. First one is about York, whether me and Ben will actually ever move back to York, and the answer is 100%. We actually already have. I already have, because I'm obsessed with like my savings pots. I already have a move back to York fund, which is basically just money so we can maybe one day move back. It will probably be more likely when we retire, so when we're old. We're definitely going to move back up north, probably I think maybe in 10 years, Ben? 15? I don't know, who knows, we have no clue what's going to happen, but we will definitely move back north and we will be one day back in York. The next question is whether I prefer living in London or York, and I have to say how much I love York. At the moment it has to be London, just because like we're building our life here, there's much more opportunities for us in kind of our career, and just the fact that we can kind of come to like Hyde Park on a random Sunday in the late afternoon is pretty special. I've had quite a few questions about what are my kind of favourite places in London, and to be honest there are just too many to count. The reason I love living in London is that there is so much history here, so much history that's been preserved, and the fact that I can kind of go to the V&A or, you know, kind of walk around and see the Tower of London for me is kind of like porn, because everything I loved when I was a little kid, whether it's kind of Tudor history or the history of the Blitz or Victorian era, there has been so much history preserved here that I can just obsess over and get really excited. So even though that's not one reason, that is kind of some of the reasons why I love living in London. And my favourite place in London are just all of the same. She agrees. Me too, big time. My favourite places are always just the same, kind of like the galleries, all of the parks, and the museums. I'm just a big geek, so any of those places I kind of love. Since we got our flat together, we've had quite a few questions about what it's like to live with Ben, and we have actually been living together for quite a few years now. But having our own flat has kind of meant that we've had a lot more space, obviously, for ourselves, and like Ben has been able to write a lot more, which is amazing. So I think it's been a really positive thing for us. It's been nice to really feel like we've put down our kind of foundations and our roots in London. A lot of these questions, I have to say, were about Ben. He's very popular. I had a lot of questions about how I knew Ben was the one. I think me and Ben met at the right time when we weren't really looking for anything, and things kind of, I guess, moved quite quickly in terms of moving in together. Things have just always slotted into place, and I think we make a really good couple and really good partners. We have a lot of fun, like he makes me laugh more than anybody else I've ever met, and I think we both have like mutual respect for each other's passions. We're both really geeky, and for me the thing that has always been the sexiest thing about Ben is when he gets super passionate about whatever he's interested in, whether that's dinosaurs or like science, like we're going to the science museum today, or whether it's Magic the Gathering. No one knows what's like going to happen in a relationship. I'm from like a family of lots of people being divorced, but I just kind of feel really good about this. Otherwise you'll see a breakup video on my YouTube channel at some point. So we're now in the Science Museum, so it's a little bit louder, and someone has asked about how did I know about the career I wanted to go into, and the reality is I didn't. So I kind of have stumbled in publishing. There are still lots of careers I'd like to do and different sectors I'd like to work in. I'm really happy at the moment working in marketing. I want to kind of learn more, but ultimately I always think I'll end up in education and working in teaching, and so my advice for everybody looking to start a career is like set a maybe a 5-year plan, but don't feel like you have to stick to it. Life changes, we all go on different paths. I didn't end up doing the thing I thought I was going to do at university, but life is really good right now and I'm enjoying my job, but I'm also excited for the changes that are going to happen and the different careers I'll pursue in the next 5 years. How was the transition from student life to working life? I'm struggling and missing school. So I think this is different for everybody. For me, because I did my MA, I never really had that really panicky feeling about what I was going to do, mainly because also I was moving to London, so I had something else to think about. And I think also I didn't go straight into my career, I went into book selling first, and actually that made a huge difference because I felt I was being productive, but it gave me time to find a career without being really pressurised about kind of money. What's your favourite British city, a town besides London and York? So my I think I would have to go with Tynemouth in the northeast, which is where a lot of my family are from. It's a really beautiful seaside town outside of Newcastle, and you can easily hop on the metro and get into the centre of Newcastle. I also just really love like Bath and Oxford. I think Oxford is probably one of my top favourites. Any kind of university kind of town, any old town that still has that kind of, you know, Georgian architecture, I'm kind of there. I haven't travelled as much as I want to outside of the UK, but I love Oxford, Cambridge, Bath and Tynemouth. Oh, I love Manchester. Me and Ben actually nearly moved to Manchester before we moved to London. I'm sure there's lots of them. Grasmere as well, in the Lake District. Still one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. There's a very long list. I could go on forever. I've had quite a lot of questions about how wedding planning is going. Me and Ben are getting married in May, so it's not that many months. We've been engaged for 2 years, so actually quite a lot of planning is already done. And I think we are pretty much finished. We haven't really got a main theme. We're being quite non-traditional in the way that we're actually getting legally married in York privately and just having a ceremony with our family and friends. You know, we've got our venue sorted and our catering. My wedding dress is actually my nana's, so I've got some final fittings. I'm wearing red shoes because I still want to wear red lipstick and eyeliner for my wedding, and Ben's getting his suit sorted. Our wedding rings are all here now, so it's getting very real. How did you get into publishing? So I will be talking more about getting into publishing. I got into publishing in quite a traditional way, I think, which is actually going for an internship and then going on to get a full-time job. I applied for the grad scheme at HarperCollins and actually got to the very last stage, and then was able to keep in touch with them, and I did come back for some job interviews, but they just weren't the right ones. I actually saw the internship that turned into my job just on Twitter and applied. One thing I'll say is the thing that really got me my job in publishing was actually my YouTube channel and making things online. So my tip to people getting into publishing would always be to start whatever you're wanting to work in now. If you want to work in social media, get your social media account ready, create a little brand. If you want to do editorial, maybe try and see if you can do a bit of freelance editorial work, or even just edit your own blog or edit, you know, a local newspaper or anything. I think being active before you start looking like sets you apart from everyone else. Can you just see that?
Yeah.
These glasses.
Yeah.
Are you on?
Yeah.
What is my favourite thing about my job? Probably making stuff for social media, whether that's assets and graphics, and filming videos and just actually talking to people on our social media, and seeing all of our books come out and see what we're publishing, and the different kind of things we can try. I kind of just love the variety of commercial publishing. It's quite fun. We publish a lot of different books really quickly, and that's quite fun. We're now magically back home and we're starving, so we're eating Domino's. I've got quite a few questions left, but just to round it off for now, one of them was about me doing a PhD, whether I wanted to do one, and my MA. Yes, I do. I would love to do a PhD, but they cost a lot of money, unless you kind of do like a sponsorship, not a sponsorship, what are they called? Scholarship. I would love to go back and do more Victorian studies, and kind of study historical fiction. So I think I would love to go back to university in the future. I am saving up to go to university in the future. But for now, I'm just going to be working in publishing, maybe working in a different sector later on, but I'm just reading a lot of books and doing the stuff I enjoyed in studying, which was basically reading a lot of non-fiction books and doing it at home and not university. But one day I would like to return to being in lectures. I'm aware that I'm now covered in pizza crumbs and my lipstick will have completely gone. Even though I'm sure it has been gradually going down since the beginning of this video, so please excuse all of this. I've got quite a few questions left to answer, but to avoid this video being really long, I thought I would save them for another day. Thank you for watching. If you do have any more questions in particular that you really would like me to answer, please let me know in the comments. So have a lovely week, and I hope you're reading some good books, and I'll see you in my next video.